right now, Dr. Andrea is actually going to answer the question from the survey that she ran. So
yeah. So a lot of you guys are talking about it in the chat, which I love. And I know you guys are talking about it at your tables. However, the top answer when I made veterinarians and practice owners pick one was personality. It was the the associate's ability to fit into their practice. And many of them wanted to explain their answers and did. And they were like, well, if the personality is there, the communication is there. If we're able to be in an interview and have a, just a natural conversation and not necessarily like, I'm gonna ask you this question, you give me this answer, the personality is there because we know that also transfers through communication, and that personality will shine in with clients. And it's all like a nice little bubble, nice little box wrapped up really nicely. So personality is what they said. However, all of them are important. Let's get that. All of them are important. We have to pick one. Being able to have your personality shine through and be authentically you is the biggest key.
And personality, they have to be able to fit in to the practice and so that they'll have a sense of belonging, right?
Yeah.
And we also want to talk a little bit about, diversity, inclusion, and all of that.
Definitely. So I know there's a question that pops up in the chat of, if I'm able to speak a second language outside of English, like, is that important to include? Yes, 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 yes. My Spanish is terrible. All right. I've never said that I can speak Spanish. It's okay in certain settings, and I can carry on a very generic conversation. However, I do not put that on my resume because that is not my strong suit. If you can speak a second language, or if you're able to communicate with different populations, say that and bring it forth, because that's a huge thing that the practice is going to want to see and want to use. And so understanding that piece always ties into the diversity. Now, you want to be within a practice where you feel the culture is inclusive. Everyone wants to feel included. Everyone wants to feel like, yes, I belong here. I'm part of the team, and they value me as a team member. And so one thing that I also asked in this survey was if an interviewee were to ask about the diversity, equity, and inclusion within their practice or their corporation or their business, how would they feel? One being angry, upset, and I don't say bitter, but both a little bitter in there. And then 10 being excited, overjoyed, and enthusiastic. And the overwhelming majority, about 70% of them, said that they are enthusiastic to answer that question because they want everyone in their practice to be able to feel that they're included, that they're part of a team, that they're part of the characteristic, stereotypical family. Because as you guys work together, you guys are doing a lot together. You guys are wrestling dogs together and cats that don't want to be there. Like, you're doing a lot. So you want to be able to feel like you're a part of that environment. So that's one question, and being able to come into an interview and ask the owner or whoever you're interviewing with questions. All right, ask them questions. When they ask you, well, do you have any questions for me as the practice owner? If you just sit there like, no, that's not a good sign. You want to ask questions, asking those tough questions, like, especially for me being a woman of color, my question is going to be, so what do you think about diversity, equity, and inclusion about veterinary medicine? Now, I'm also very upfront about it. Okay. I got a whole shirt. If you can see the whole shirt, you would understand. Like, I'm very upfront about it because I need to walk into a space where I'm not going to be looked upon as the Black veterinarian, but as a veterinarian who just so happens to be, and we don't care that she's Black. All right. It's just there. All right. But if you want to ask that question, then do so. Especially if you're looking around the practice and saying, I don't see others that identify with me, that I don't think identify. Ask the question to feel that is the culture there for you to prosper. You want to make sure that when you're entering these jobs, these opportunities, that you can advance and you feel comfortable. We don't have the first year of practice or being, a technician in new practice or being an undergraduate trying to get into a practice is already stressful enough. We don't need to add on any other extra, parameters and constraints that make that any tougher than what it has to be, especially as you get adjusted. Ask the tough questions, okay? Ask to talk to staff. Staff know everything. Mm-hmm. I mean everything. I'm terrified if someone comes in and asks my staff anything, so they're probably going to say I'm crazy. They're probably going to say I'm crazy, that she's great, and that she really helps, what you want to do, and is really, focused in that sense. But talk to staff. They know the ins and outs of the practice. The practice owner, yes, they know everything they will need to know. They know how their practice runs, but the staff knows the ins and outs, the good, the bad. Okay. And being able to ask those tough questions, not only the practice owner or whoever you're interviewing with, but also the staff that are there, or other colleagues that are there, other veterinarians that are there, other technicians that are there, is also equally as important in that sense.
Awesome. Perfect. So one last thing that we want to talk about are, what are the key watchouts? Like, what do you need to watch out for? Things like things that you're going to include, social media, email addresses, all those things. So
email addresses, okay? Find a professional email address. I would think that I wouldn't have to say this. However, I've seen a lot of crazy things like lovetoogood@yahoo.com. That's terrible. That's terrible. Or, super gorgeous 86. No, Gmail will allow you to manipulate your name so many ways. Like, my email literally says Andrea.r.Gentry. It's got my name in it. Make sure you're using a professional email. If you don't have one, get one. They're free, all right? 2, grammatical errors. Spelling. I'm a terrible speller. I can spell all the medical terms, but if you give me like certain normal English words, I'm like, all right, let me go in here and check. All right, so, okay, let me check this. Like, we'll get the word specific. I can spell that most of the time. However,
you started with P, Pacific?
I have to think about that word. I really have to think about it before I say it. So I'm like, all right, specific, not Pacific. Got it. That's the notion versus specific. I'm talking about something specific, right? So making sure grammatical errors are gone. There's a program, they don't pay me, I don't know them, called Grammarly. I love it. I hate commas, hate them. I don't know where they go. I did learn it in school, but I forgot everything that I learned. Grammarly is excellent. You can get a free trial or you can pay for it. It will actually proofread sentences. It'll fix your grammar. It'll fix your sentence structure too. I use it for everything. It's in emails. It's in on like Word documents. Like, it's everywhere, and I love it because it fixes those things that you don't think about. Especially because I haven't filled my brain with where to put a comma. I'm gonna fix that one day. I'm going to fix it. I write way too many things, but for me, I write a lot. I've written a lot of grants here recently, and all of it goes through Grammarly because the grant reviewers are going to sit there and be like, she didn't put a comma here. So I let Grammarly figure that out. So grammatical errors are big. First impressions always matter. When you're walking into the practices to check on an application or to check on a resume or to check on what have you, make sure you're going in dressed. All right, make sure you're going in dressed for success. Make sure you're not going in with like workout pants and a nice little cute little shirt, or you're not going in there with basketball shorts and some tennis shoes. Like, if you're going to walk into a place that you're trying to get employed, make sure you're always dressed for success, as well as have confidence in your abilities. Don't be cocky, but have confidence. Be confident in what you've learned. Many of you guys have gone through vet tech programs. You've gone through veterinary programs. You've gone through undergraduate programs where they have literally racked your brain with so much information that you think there wasn't a single neuron left to fill. Be confident in that information, as well as understand there are more things for you to learn, and have goals to do such. Have goals outside of veterinary medicine. The biggest don't that I can say is to go in and be cocky. Like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need to learn this. That's terrible. Don't do that. We don't like to see that because we want somebody who's going to be teachable, moldable, learnable. For those that are seeking mentorship, this is a big one for new grads, all right? Whether you're a vet tech, whether you're a vet student, whether you're undergrad, and I know she's getting ready to pop in here any second. I can feel it, all right? Mentorship. When you're asking a practice for mentorship, and Dr. Cheryl can probably key on this too, know what type of mentorship you're looking for. All right. Because they're saying mentorship, it's such a broad category. Like, what kind of mentorship? Like, if you want to bounce cases off of me, I'm not looking for mentorship, but I will bounce a case off of a fellow vet in that office any day of the week. That's not mentorship. That's just being that this is my comrade and we're going to work through this together as a team.
Right.
All right. But so when you say mentorship, make sure you are very specific with that practice about what you're looking at. And I told you, Catherine was going to pop in at any moment.
You felt her. You felt her coming in.
So I have to say, if you take anything out of tonight, just don't do that. I think Dr. Andrea and her, don't do that. I am over here laughing my tail off, and that is what the Bridge Club is all about. I love the fact that we are people first, we are professionals second, and we need to remember that. I have to say that to you all so that you never forget that we are people first, we are professionals second. You have picked an admirable profession, and it is challenging, but always, always be yourself. And so I will do a quick little thank you here before we do our closing toast, because we try to get everyone out exactly at the top of the hour. And we know we have people up at 4:30 in the morning in India. We've got people all over the world here, and I'm so impressed by it. And I just can't thank you enough for joining us this evening as we do this. But I do want to make sure we are thanking IDEXX Laboratories, Vetcetera, as well as Royal Canin. It is with these folks that we are able to bring conversations like this for free to any student, veterinarian, technician, anywhere in the world. You guys can come to these conversations. I will say the best part about our conversations is we always have a beverage. And for those of you where it's 4:30 in the morning, it could be a mimosa. I'm just saying, we don't care what you're drinking. We just want to make sure you're raising your glass, because that is really important in what we do. But it's their support that allows your voice to be heard. We do this in this platform, and we also do it on Zoom. We know people have Zoom fatigue, but the good news is this, guys. You have the offer. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to get her in trouble, but Dr. Andrea did give an offer earlier this evening, so you can take her up on that. We will be sending you an email that has all these videos in it, along with her email address. Sorry, Dr. Andrea, you offered.
That's great. Send it now. I want to say it. Everyone flood me, but
and I will also say this. You can reach out to the Bridge Club for anything, anytime. We are here to help support you as well, Vetcetera as well, Royal Canin and IDEXX. I want to make sure you guys know that. It is because we are a community, and we need to remember that we are a community at all times. So I do have our final toast as we raise it, because it is important when I say we are absolutely, positively, we are people first and we are professionals second. So when you are out there searching for a job, I know one person put in there, it's hard to be confident. It's hard, especially in this day and age, but I'll tell you what, we want you. Employers want you. We need you. So first and foremost, know that. That is important for you to know. But be authentically yourself. Wear your tattoos. Have your pink hair. Just keep your fingernails clipped, because you may have to do an exam. As Dr. Andrea told us, mine are too long right now. Thank goodness I'm not a veterinarian or a technician for that purpose. But what I ask you to be is be prepared and be ready. So these jobs are important, incredibly important for what you're doing. So be prepared, be ready. Know your do's and don'ts. And here's the thing, get the job you want, and all things will happen. I promise you that. This world needs you. So thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate all your dedication, and cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So what we're going to do, and I'm breaking the rules, I need to drink this. We're going to go to the tables now. For those of you who are on your cell phone and those of you who are on your laptop, on your iPad, if you've got additional questions, please post them into the chat. We'll see if we can help answer it. Those of you who are at the tables, take a moment. Enjoy each other's company. If you've got questions, Dr. Andrea is going to go to a table. She doesn't know it until just now. She's going to go to a table, and you can ask her your own questions. So guys, thanks again for coming to the Bridge Club. We truly appreciate it. We hope to see you again.